Welcome to part 1 on an Edinburgh bungalow strip and reslate. In typical Scottish weather, it's been stop-start day to day with the constant rain, but it doesn't stop us trying to keep busy. Day 1 we got a delivery of Spanish Cooper H3s and then got the apprentices to start grading them out while we set up for stripping. So what we'll do to give us a platform for standing on is turn a couple of slates and then put these roof irons into the sarking boards. Then pop a scaffold batten in between them, and then that gives us a safe platform to work from. Once they're in and we've got a platform to get all the way up the roof, we'll start taking the zinc ridges off and laying them aside. We'll pop the ridges back on every night just to keep the roof watertight until the roof's reslated. Now that the ridges are off, it's a case of getting into the stripping. So what we're doing here is we're just pulling all the slates off the roof, as they're not getting reused for anything, they're too small. So what we'll do is we'll take all the slates off first, take out all the nails, and that just leaves the old membrane. Once all the felt's removed, we'll assess the sarking boards, make sure that there's no rot or anything like that in them, do any repairs if necessary, and then get the roof felted. Once we've got the roof stripped down all the way to the eaves, what we'll do next is we'll start stripping off all the old cast iron gutters. And then now we're finally in a position to start putting the roof back together. So we're putting 5-inch cast iron gutters back on with heavy duty straps onto the rafters. And then here we're putting the eave support tray in. And then we'll fill in the exposed gap with more perma-vent. Once that's done and we've got the scaffold cleared, it's time to get the new slates up. They've all been graded out, so we're going to start off with fix obviously along the bottom. We'll get a roof marked out. We're using 400 by 220 slates. We're using a 70mm head lap that gives us a max gauge of 165. So then that gives us a fixed gauge. Our fixed gauge for this was 163 all the way up the roof. So it's just a case of marking that out all the way up and then striking out our lines. once all that's done, it's just a case of cracking on with the slating. It's just hip to hip. As you can see here, we've got our platforms back in, and that allows us to get up the roof. Here's a demonstration on how we take our roof irons out. There's a case of leaving a slate above, single nailed, so that we can turn it and then sliding the missing slate in the hole. This is pretty much common practice anywhere you go in Scotland, so there's no issue having a single nailed slate. So we managed to get that first panel done. It was a case of doing the exact same thing to get ourselves set up on the second panel. Here you can see me just filling in the hip there. Subscribe to the page and keep up to date with the rest of the job.